You guys just ever had one of those days when you should have stayed inside? So far it's been one of those days. So here we are, we're going to heat treat this today, but first I got to tweak this up. So we're going to start getting it hot. Guys, oh, you got a whole lot closer. I hope you can still see because I need to do this while it's hot. So my hole is off center, but the rest of it's straight. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. It's a lot better than it was. Still a little rock to one side, but I don't quite know how to fix that. I need to heat this up right here and twist it, I think. I don't want to do that though. We're just going to live with it. We're going to harden it and put a handle on it and see how uncomfortable it is. So let's get the blade up to critical. Alright guys, non-magnetic. Into water, just for the Forged in Fires guys to cry. Didn't warp. Hey, that's working well. My heat treat colors are... I might not have to temper this. Just let it do it itself here. Why I'm just standing here watching. I'm watching colors move. The rest of it I'm going to quench in oil just to be a little softer on it. Alright. I think that's going to do it. Let's check how hard she is. It's only a railroad spike. Not bad for a spike. Not too bad. So there she is, heat treat. Next is wire wheel and handle it. Well, sharpen I guess maybe first. Test for the handle. Anyways, there she is. Alright guys, so gonna make the handle for this tomahawk today. I went back and forth. Do I buy a hammer handle and just call it good enough, or do I make my own. So went through some scrap wood I got out back, and I'm pretty sure this is a piece of hickory. If not, it's white oak. It's one of the two. Anyways, you want the handle to be about the length of your arm, so I'm going to use from there to there. Clean all this off. There's a little twig and stuff. And this is what's going to be the hammer or the tomahawk handle. It's a good straight piece, so I'll get out the saw, cut it loose, and then we'll start drawing it down. Alright guys, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. This is not the right punch or the right hammer I like to use, but they should both work. Okay, that's a good start for now. Then we're going to take a draw knife and we're just going to draw this bark off. Okay, I think that's as much as I'm going to do with the draw knife. Got the bulk of the bark off. And we have plenty of material to be able to do the head really on either end. So I think, let's see here, how's this thing naturally curved? I think that's where where I'm going to set her, just like that. And so what I'm going to do is take a Sharpie and mark the inside of this. Okay. So that's all I did. I took a Sharpie and marked it front and back, F and B. And then I'll, a different day when I feel a little better, I'm going to sand this down, get it pretty close to shape, put a split in it, wedge it, all that good stuff. But that's all for today. I'm not feeling real great, so there it is. Alright guys, here we go. We're going to sand this down a little. Well, it ain't pretty, but it fits. So I think what I'm going to do is move you guys. Yup. Put y'all around there. Okay, open that up a little more. It's not the hammer I want to use, but it's what I got. Sweet. Okay. Let's clean up the whole thing a bit. Alright, so that's a good rough shape. I'm going to take some time with some hand sandpaper and rub this down real good, but I'm not going to bring you along for it. So, I'll be back in a bit. Alright guys, so I got that roughly smoothed and shaped with 60 grit. Before I change belts, I'm going to get the edge pretty close, then I'll switch to 120, finish both these out, and go on to the next step. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Gas bill. I Yeah, she's probably gonna rip. Well, she kind of cuts. She's pretty jagged edge, but 60 grit. So what do you expect, right? Very good. So that's good enough for 60 grit. Swap out the belt and finish that real quick at. Actually, I'm gonna hit on the wire wheel and not bring you along. Then I'm gonna finish the edge on 120. I won't bring you along. Next thing I'll show you is when I set up the handle, which I'm going to take it to 120. So, bring you back in a few. Alright guys, so I get her finished up with 120. She cuts. She don't cut great, but she cuts. She chops really well, which is what she's supposed to do. Chopped up a bit of my table here. I don't even know if you can see that or not. So here we go. That feels awful. Go back to that way. Alright, before we do anything else, let's give her a little test whack. Okay, what do you say? Alright guys, here we are in the wilderness of my backyard. Here's our tomahawk. Here's an old dead log. And she chops till she comes off. Okay. It ain't half bad. Oops. I'll drive it back on, put the wedge in and epoxy it, and then finish it. Alright guys, so I don't know where I last left you with this guy. However, it was twisted. This was. So I think I left you, we were making this work, and I gave up on it. It's not terribly unstraight, but it was unstraight enough I didn't like it. And then so, second problem was this was twisted. So this being twisted, that being unstraight, it was too much. So I bought this genuine hickory handle. I was hoping that was upside down. It's not. Anyways, still made in the USA, so it still counts. And of course I got the wedges and all that to go with it. And so what I did off camera is I heated this up, twisted it back the way I needed to go. And then re-hardened it. So I re-hardened it and I tempered it and all that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and drive this down on here. And cut the top off, wedge it, all that good stuff. So, here we go. Pretty sure this is not the way to do this, but this is what I'm going to do it. That's definitely wrong, right? So I think you're supposed to do this in there and just... That's crazy enough. That works. That's kind of cool. So that's biting him pretty hard. It ain't coming off easy, that's for sure. Let's give it a couple more whacks. Try to do this up high enough where you can see it. It ain't working. So, there we go. There's that. Okay, so I'm not going to bring you along. I'm going to grab a hacksaw real quick. Cut this off. Ooh. Cut this off as close as I can. And then sand it down. Drive our wedge in, sand it down, all that. So I'll be back once I've got this cut off. Alright, so I got that cut off. Now to find my wedges, which I put up. It wasn't too bad, like 20 seconds. Okay. First thing first, the wooden wedge. I watched a handful of YouTube videos on this. However, I'm still not super confident on what I'm doing, so first time I've done this. I'm sure you guys enjoyed being bounced around like that. The wrong way. That is so cool how you hit the other end and it drives it in. Okay. Alright, so I think, zoom in here where you can see this. So if you can see that, I'm curling the wood on the wedge on both sides, and it is specifically the wedge that's curling. So I think, I don't know, Eastwood, if this doesn't work out, bring it back to me and we'll epoxy this thing on, but I really want to see how long just this wedge lasts. So if I didn't know you, I'd epoxy it now, but since I do, and I know you'll abuse it and tell me what happens, that's what we're going to do. So every time I try to drive the wedge from this side, I drive the tomahawk head off. So I have to hit this side, which I just find so weird. But anyways, so I'm just putting it against the table or whatever else. I just don't want to split the handle. I don't really think I'm getting any further, so nope, I can see it all the way bottomed out on this side. So now we'll cut that off. Alright, so there's that. I'm leaving it a little proud. I mean, maybe a 16th. We're just going to try to drive this down in here. So I'm going crossways. Get this where you can see it. So the wedge runs this way. So I'm going to run the metal wedge in that way. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know. I haven't done this before. And it sort of seems to want to do it. I don't want to drive this off, so we're going to flip it upside down and do it just like I've done everything else in this process. Upside down and downside right. If this weren't my first one, I'd be starting over right now because I just split that sucker. See that? See that? So, you are getting it epoxied, Mr. Eastwood. But before you do, because you guys don't want to see me set epoxy, let's go chop something. Yeah, edge is sharp enough. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this little thing here, this tree's going to go eventually anyways, so let's give her some chops. Not half bad. Top's still attached. Crack's not any bigger. Now, one thing Eastwood said is he wanted to throw this. So, there's a stump. Let's see. It's been a while. Well, I hit the stump. Can't even hit it up close. Might be a bad stump to pick. It's awful dead, that's for sure. Let's pick something else. Let's try this tree. I don't think this is gonna go well, but yeah. She hit. Well, Eastwood, she's not a very good throwing axe, which I was afraid of because it's got too round of a heel. But it's a good chopping axe, so I'll get this split epoxied up so we don't have to worry about it. Probably get some epoxy down in there, sand up that a little bit, give it a final polish finish, just a little wire wheel, and she'll be all yours. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Stick around and we'll catch you on the next one.